Americans can have confidence that the banking system is safe. No losses will be borne by the taxpayers.
First at 5 tonight, President Biden is urging calm following the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. It's the second largest bank failure in U.S. history. Thank you for joining us. I'm Laurel Porter.
And I'm David Moko. The federal government is promising all SVB customers they will have full access to their deposits today, including those beyond the $250,000 federal insurance limit. So the same goes for New York-based Signature Bank after state regulators seized that lender over the weekend in what is now the third biggest bank failure in American history. Experts say this is part of the effort to reassure the country the U.S. financial system is both stable and safe.
What do you need to know about what is happening right now?
The majority of people in America need to understand their money is safe in the bank. As long as it's in an FDIC-insured bank.
President Biden also called today for legislative action to re-tighten financial regulations. As a result of this collapse, a 2018 law that rolled back some banking regulations is now coming under scrutiny. Silicon Valley Bank was among those that lobbied to loosen regulations. Let's bring in Daisy Caballero now because the SVB shutdown is also impacting some small businesses.
And Daisy, that includes some here in the Northwest. So how are they reacting?
Yeah, David, that's right. And we know of at least 2 startup businesses based in Portland and Vancouver. Over the weekend, both have actually announced online sales on their merchandise to help make ends meet while their funds at Silicon Valley Bank are still in limbo.
It was a real shock.
Complete shock and disbelief. That's how businesses around the country are reacting after hearing Silicon Valley Bank collapsed on Friday, making it the second largest bank failure in U.S. history. Kelly Oriard is the co-founder of Slumberkins, a Vancouver-based company that sells stuffed animals and corresponding books about mental health for kids.
To face the reality of what that actually means is really scary because we've put our heart and souls into this business and built it for 7 years. And, you know, the majority of our capital was in that bank.
Oriard and her co-founder are scared what they've built is all going to come crashing down.
And our team had already made the request to transfer funds out of the bank. And so we were in limbo over, will they show up? Will they not show up? Did we get them out in time? Did we not?
And they're still waiting to hear. Silicon Valley Bank mostly serves tech startups, but also small business startups like Slumberkins and A Kids Co., a Portland-based children's book company. SVB also helped fund operations for about 10 to 20% of Washington wineries and some small producers in Oregon.
Well, the wine industry was pretty shocked and surprised.
And this comes at a slow time of the year for wineries. They're prepping to hire up for the summer, buy grapes, and pay bills, but now have limited access to their funds due to the bank closure.
That's the available credit that's available to them to put towards things that create inventory. So buying grapes, paying vineyards, packaging supplies, bottling, barrels, all of that kind of stuff.
I think the 2 biggest things are access to money to a lot of companies here in the region. And second is just uncertainty about what does the future hold. And uncertainty makes people risk averse and buckle down. And that has implications for everybody here.
The FDIC, or Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, has taken control of SVB's funds. It's an independent federal agency that insures saving and checking accounts. David, Laurel.
And it's important we note that regulators have approved plans to backstop both banks beyond the standard FDIC limits there. Thank you, Daisy. On Wall Street, the Dow fell for a 5th straight day in a volatile session. The S&P closed slightly down. The Nasdaq up about 0.5%, all ahead of February inflation numbers, which are due out first thing Tuesday morning.
Happening now, police activity has a section of Skyline Boulevard closed in the Forest Park neighborhood. The closure is from Northwest Germantown Road to Northwest Springville Road. Details are scarce on what's happening right now, but we do know the Portland Police surge and crisis negotiation teams are responding. They say they do not believe there are outstanding individuals who pose a danger to the community. We will keep you updated.
Developing this evening, Portland police are investigating a death in the Hazelwood neighborhood. Now, around 3:30 this morning, officers say they found a man dead in the street near Southeast 141st and Harrison. Police have not released information about a suspect or what may have happened there. The medical examiner is working on determining the cause of death. No arrests have been made.
A historic building in Portland's Old Town area is set to be demolished soon. The former Yamaguchi Hotel on Northwest 4th and Gleason is one of the last remaining buildings that was owned and operated by Japanese Americans prior to World War II. Bryant Clerkley joins us now. And Bryant, it was labeled a hazardous building years ago, and it would take millions to bring it back to code.
Yeah, Laurel, it's the last historic building on that block. The Japantown neighborhood served as a hub for Japanese immigrants and grew into a thriving community. Blanchet House currently owns the building, and the nonprofit does not have the money to restore it. There was a ceremony Sunday to honor the building. Origami cranes were placed on the fence in remembrance. This hotel was built sometime in the late 1800s. The Yamaguchi family managed the hotel on the upper floors of the building from 1921 to 1941. The Blanchet House bought it in the 50s and used it for homeless meal services and shelter beds, but in 2012 moved operations next door. The building was deemed unsafe by the city because of falling bricks. A fence was put up around it for safety, and the nonprofit Blanchet House says it doesn't have the millions of dollars to restore it and bring it to code.
The buildings are basically neglected, and it's hard to understand how there can't be pride in whatever you have possession of. But, you know, demolition by neglect is really something that's been happening in this area for a long time.
Blanchet House came to an agreement with the Japanese American Museum of Oregon to preserve some parts of the building, and once it's demolished, Blanchet House hopes to create a health clinic and a shelter for women. And still no word on the exact date on when the building will be demolished. The physical pieces of the building that will be preserved by Blanchet House will be available for the Japanese American Museum of Oregon to display inside the museum. David.
Bryant Clerkley in the newsroom. Thank you, Bryant. We've got an update tonight on the so-called Silicon Forest, with a semiconductor chip company bringing hundreds of jobs, it says, to Multnomah County, and plans to add even more in the next few years. Now, Joe Ranieri joins us. Joe, there is an ongoing effort in Oregon to boost the industry. How does this company fit in?
Well, David, this is a huge $800 million capital project is halfway done.
All right, Joe, we're going to jump in here because we're having a little trouble with your mic here, so bear with us. We'll try and get the story back on. I think we're going to head over to Veterans Memorial Coliseum here and check on the celebration of life, public celebration of life for Bill Schonely. Can we head over there, Chris?
That's because
there's been one steady strand of basketball DNA that has run through the Portland Trailblazers, and that has been the Schantz. And because of his immense talent and gentle manner, the way he treated people, treating them kindly everywhere he went, always with dignity, always with humility and honor, he'll always be remembered by the people he touched, all of you.
And as you heard tonight, the community saying goodbye to a Portland Trailblazers legend. They're having a public celebration of life for longtime broadcaster Bill Schonely happening right now at Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Schonely, who was known as the mayor of Rip City, called more than 2,500 games for the team, including the championship run in 1977. He died this past January. Schonely was 93 years old.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break here and kind of reset. We'll be back with you in a second. Thanks.